Hi everybody, Dr. Dawn Poros of the Thought Word Academy, but today just coming to you as a woman trying to get pregnant. So tomorrow's beta day. I'm really on the fence about this one. I wanted to give you some more detail. I guess we'll see what happens. But so I switched to just the first response tests. And I noticed in the beginning it was very light. Again, I'm taking HCG injections, so there's always going to be a line there. My goal is to see that the line gets darker, and it did. It seemed to get darker in the middle, but now the last days it looks like it's getting lighter again. And comparison to not only the tests that I took a couple years ago with my daughter, as well as tests that I've looked online, it doesn't look like it's dark enough, but I don't know. They say that if the test looks to be like about a 20 MU on the home pregnancy test, that it could actually be as high as 60 in the blood test. So I don't know. I really am lost on this one. I felt very confident with my daughter's pregnancy test because they really were really getting dark. But here's the other thing. So 2 days ago, not today, but Friday and Saturday, I started to have these really strong, like, pulling and pinching feelings. And I remember the time I had the ectopic, as well as the time that I was pregnant with my daughter, that I had like a really sharp kind of like pinch, you know, and I really thought like, oh my gosh, that's the implantation. I don't know, but it felt like it was to me. And it happened both times. I didn't have that in those days, and I didn't really have that, but I just felt this like pulling feeling, this feeling as if my pelvis was like being pulled apart in some way. I mean, not like painful, but like really noticeable and uncomfortable, not a cramp, not anything close to that. And then this sharpness. And at one point, I have to say, I was washing the dishes and there was like a real, like a lightning bolt, not like a different one that I know comes from under, but like a lightning bolt feeling near my uterus. It was just like, oh, like all of a sudden, like I was shocked. And that only happened a couple days ago, which would have been days 10 and 11 past the transfer, which technically you could implant, from what I've read, as late as day 12 past the transfer. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't feel any of those feelings the entire time. I've had some mild cramping, I had some like breast tenderness, gas, blah, 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 all those other things, which honestly could just be from, as you know, the hormones that we take. But this was definitely not any of that. So I don't know if those feelings were a bad thing that was happening or if it was a good thing that was happening. And if it is the case that, you know, again, these tests are so, the home pregnancy tests, you know, are so inaccurate depending on, you know, when you take them. And I was realizing last night, I was thinking, you know, I'm up a lot with my daughter. She's a year old and she still, you know, gets up a lot of times in the night for bottles. And so I'm up and it's just maybe force a habit, but when I wake up, I don't even think I think about it. I just give her a bottle and I pee. So I'm peeing all night long. I mean, and definitely more than I was peeing when I was pregnant with her, because I know I was peeing quite a bit when I was pregnant with her. And I was taking the you know, the home pregnancy tests. But I really, it was not to the extent of how much I do it now. So that also started me thinking at 4 o'clock this morning that maybe my lines were going to be consecutively, or they're going to be consistently lighter than they were when I was pregnant with her, just because of how much I'm peeing all night long. So that was one thought. The other thing, like I said, was not feeling anything until those really strange feelings. I didn't have it all today, but I had it basically for like 2 days. And everything I've read online is that they say that if you do have any symptoms that feel like implantation, it usually lasts a day or two. So, you know, again, Is it good that I'm doing the home pregnancy test? Is it bad? I have no idea. You know, I mean, everybody's different. I think you have to go with what feels right to you. You want, and on one hand, I think you want to have the positive reinforcement. If you feel like you're seeing that, then of course it can be very soul crushing if you feel like you're not seeing it or it's going in the wrong direction. So the fact, now here's the other thing, I'm going to show you the test in a minute, but the tests that look darker are also the ones that look like they absorbed too much pee into the test, you know, when the window kind of turns yellow. So I don't know if that had something to do with it as well. You know, if anybody's had that experience, maybe you can comment and let me know, you know, that the ones that look like yellow seem to be darker. But anyway, so now they look a little bit lighter the last couple of days. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if I implanted really late. The fact that I'm, again, taking an injection of 25 units each night is definitely going to show something on the blood test. So I'm assuming that they're going to calculate how much higher than that it needs to be. I'm assuming they're probably going to say it's got to be at least 50. I don't know. I know when I was pregnant with my daughter, the first HCG test I took, and I was taking the injections, it was 81. And then the 2 days later, it was 199. So I don't know. I'm really on the fence on this one. I don't honestly have a feeling either way, because I think I would be feeling really negative if it wasn't for those really strange pulling, pinching feelings that I had the last couple of days. I don't know, but let me show you my test so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first one you see here, this was only 3 days after the transfer. I mean, there's barely a line to see, but I was already taking 3 days of HCG, so I would love to assume that this is what it looks like from just the injection itself, but I'm not sure if the HCG, I mean, I know I'm taking it every day the same amount. I don't know if it accumulates at all in your system, maybe not. So 3 days later, you can see the line is definitely darker. So that's at 9 days past ovulation. Ovulation I'm counting as my transfer, my embryo being a 3-day. So this, 2 days later. Now you see how the window's all yellow? This is really dark looking. And I'm wondering if that's because, again, like this pee stuff. This one to me, you know, obviously way darker than that. That's day 12. Day 13, to me again, looking pretty dark. And then, now that ends the yellow window, and then it brings us to here, day 14, and now, to me, this is way lighter looking than the day before. I don't know if that's just the contrast because the window's white. If anything, I think it should be the other way around, but to me, unfortunately, that looks lighter. But again, I don't know if it's darker because like it got super saturated or something. Now here's today. To me, this looks even lighter. I don't know. To me here, we got 14, 15. In my opinion, yesterday's looks darker than today. But again, who knows? You know, this could be diluted from peeing in the night and all that jazz. So, I mean, is everything darker than the day 6? 100%. They're definitely darker. But then you see how dark they get, and then I feel like they start to get lighter. To me, I feel like maybe that was a chemical pregnancy. Like maybe it implanted and then it just, you know, dissolved. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. So again, I'm hoping for the best. I'm just on the fence right now. My plan is to spend the rest of the night when my daughter wakes up playing with her, and I'm just gonna watch like any kind of fun comedy thing I can do. I have to work tomorrow. That'll be good for a distraction after the test, because I know I'm gonna be by the phone waiting the whole time to get the results. Unfortunately, I think that my doctor tends to get the results before I do in my portal and at the lab. But anyway, so fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. I hope that everybody out there going through this has amazing numbers on their beta. I hope that you all have, an easy 2-week wait, and I wish nothing but absolute success for all of you out there. Thank you so much, and more news to come, hopefully good. Take care, be well.